Hi, I'm Steve Smith, and this is Aim High. Today's statistics show that a high percentage of juveniles have been arrested for many crimes in Florida and in the nation. These numbers are growing at an alarming rate. In 1994, in Dade County alone, more than 21,000 juveniles were arrested. These figures are increasing by the minute. But thanks to the help of many activists, a student-led crime and drug prevention program has been successfully promoted throughout the state of Florida and in the nation to help solve this problem. This program is Youth Crime Watch of America and Dade County. Today we are joined by representatives from this organization and also by students that are a part of this program. First of all, we have Adriana Gonzalez. She's the conference coordinator for Youth Crime Watch of America. Also joining us is Elisa Lueck. She's the program administrator for Youth Crime Watch of Dade County. Welcome, ladies.
Welcome.
What exactly is Youth Crime Watch?
Youth Crime Watch is actually it's a program that is adopted by schools to prevent crime in the schools, general crime, drugs, gangs, alcohol, any type of violence in the schools. Elisa's more in touch with what is the actual activities in the schools because she deals directly on a daily basis with the kids. Maybe you can tell them what it's all about.
Did this program originate in Florida?
Yes, the program originated in Dade County. It started with Citizens Crime Watch, which is the crime watch which is in all the neighborhoods. And there was an incident that prompted the need to have Crime Watch in the schools.
What was this incident?
There was a Halloween rape of a girl here in Florida.
In Kendall.
And from that, they found the need to bring it into the schools. And what it actually is it's an educational crime prevention program where we empower the students to take charge of their schools and the surrounding community.
Mm-hmm. Is there a program now in every school in Florida? Or?
We're not in every school. For the most part, we're in all of the secondary schools here in Dade County and a good majority of the elementary schools. The program has recently spread.
Yes, currently there are 12 states that are involved with Youth Crime Watch. And in this conference that we'll talk about a little bit later, there's about 30 states that participate, over 30 states that participate in the conference to get to know what Youth Crime Watch is about and to establish it in the schools. But there are currently 12 participating states and Canada involved.
How did the students get involved in this program?
What we do is we go in and we enlist the support of the administration. We start with the principal, who then selects a Youth Crime Watch advisor, who is the contact person at that school who will head up this club. And from that, we select the club members who meet on a regular basis, and they participate in different crime prevention activities. They may start a tip line at their school where students can anonymously call in tips on crimes that have happened or that they hear of that are going to happen. They also participate in different community service activities like graffiti paint-outs or beautification projects for their school. A lot of the secondary schools also have Crime Watch patrols, which are students who monitor the halls before and after class or before and after school and just make sure that everyone is on their way and doing what they should be doing.
How does the counseling program differ from elementary level to middle school level as far as what are some of the messages you get across and some of the techniques that you use?
In the elementary schools, for the most part, we deal with educating the students on self-esteem, on gun safety awareness, on conflict resolution. And we work in conjunction with other programs in the Dade County public school system. Then once we educate them at the elementary school level, we empower them at the secondary school level to actually take charge and go themselves as students to educate their peers and also to go into the elementary schools.
I've heard the word empowerment used twice already. Mm-hmm. Do you try to create a family-type atmosphere? Is there a lot of positive reinforcement instituted with this program?
Yes, I've only been in the organization for 4 months, but as I understand it, that is the general idea and that is a general focus, is to establish basically an adult-youth partnership where the youth feels the support of the adult, and however the adult respects the youth and they empower them to take action and to really take charge to stop crime and to go with their beliefs and really, as I understand it, there are waiting lists for kids to get involved in these varsity patrols in the schools and stuff like that. So kids are very, very anxious and very, very willing to get involved to help their peers.
What exactly is varsity patrol? Are there different levels that students are, do they hold offices, so to speak? Is it sort of a structure within a school like a student council, so to speak? There's the president of the Youth Crime Watch Club, and then there's a secretary. How does that work?
Right. The varsity patrols are basically a component of the Youth Crime Watch Club. The club elects officers, which you have typically your president, vice president, secretary, treasurer, and then some schools may opt to have the patrol in addition to their Youth Crime Watch Club. Some schools will just have the patrol as the component. Others may simply have a patrol without the club. The patrol may have its own officers. And basically they function to monitor the halls. They help with like different, maybe the sporting events. They helped at the conference to make sure that, you know, people are doing what they should be doing in schools. And basically that's the whole gist of the Crime Watch program, is that the students take charge to make sure that they're in school to get their education.
You try to make sure that the bottom line is that the students run this.
Yes.
It's their program.
Yes, it's a student-led program.
They set their own agendas as far as what's going on in the schools and what action should be taken, because they know better than the adults what's going on in their schools as far as whether it's a drug problem, whether it's a gang problem, whether it's a weapon problem. So they set their own agendas to see what action should they take or what the advisor should help them with. So basically they're given the power to take on, to take on the prevention.
Very good. Stick with us. When we come back, we're going to find out what goes on in one of these Youth Crime Watch rallies.
Shut up!
Please, don't get like this. Please, just don't get
Don't get like what? No, come here! Don't get like what?
I didn't mean anything. It's just to get so angry.
That's enough from you! Enough! 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 That's enough! I'm gonna give you something to scream about! Get over here! Get up!
I can't.
I'm talking to you! Get up!
I can't get it off. Don't do this.
Stop crying! You're asking for it again!
For information about how you can help stop domestic violence, call us.
Thanks for staying with us. Elisa, why don't you give me an idea of what goes on in these Youth Crime Watch rallies I hear a lot about. I hear they get pretty exciting.
Yeah, the rallies we do to keep the spirit up in the students. This year we're planning school-based or regional rallies where the high schools will basically sponsor one and invite the middle and the elementary schools. Last year we had a county-wide rally where we had like 2,000 students join together at Miami-Dade North, and we invited local celebrities and sports celebrities from the community to come and to talk to the students. We also had the local police and fire departments there. It just basically gets their motivation going and keeping Youth Crime Watch in the forefront.
Now, Adriana, you coordinate a nationwide Youth Crime Watch conference. What does that entail?
Basically, the Crime Prevention Conference, it's a national conference, it's an annual conference. We held our 8th annual conference not too long ago, and basically what it entails is we get participation from over 1,500 people from across the nation. We get representation of over 30 states, as I mentioned.
These are school officials?
These
law enforcement officials and students?
Students, law enforcement officials, civic leaders, parents, basically anyone who's interested in crime prevention and reduction of violence can attend. There's over 40 workshops, all geared towards reducing gangs, reducing violence, peace mediation, peer mediation, peer outreach, student-by-student training, which is these students that win, let's say, a speech contest, such as Maria Jose, which you'll be featuring, and Rashad, which you'll be featuring a little bit later in the show. They won a speech contest, and basically they go to the conference and they train other students on crime prevention and on reducing violence in their schools and communities. So,
you mentioned peace mediation. What's that all about?
Basically, it's a program geared toward empowering the kids once again to interact with their peers. It's actually peer mediation, but it's more like a violence reduction and sort of having peace between the kids. Basically, it's easier for a kid to come to another kid or a student to come to another student and say, hey man, stop the violence or stop the gangs in your schools. It's not going to bring you anything. It's better for the kids to do that than for the adults to do that. And basically it's through peace, and it's not like a violent thing. It's basically they approach each other on a peaceful level. So,
like if there were a fight in the school, instead of the students automatically going to detention, they would bring the two students together with a peer
and have
mediator
them talk it out.
to talk out the situation and come to a peaceful resolution.
What about a youngster who's committed a crime and is feeling somewhat of an outcast? How do you bring someone like that in? We talk about prevention and education, but what about someone who's already made a mistake and may feel shunned in some way? How would you bring an individual like that in?
That's the wonderful thing about our program, is that we seek to involve students from all different areas within the school. We don't just want the A students, we don't just want the troublemakers, we don't just want the football players. And at the elementary school level in particular, the teachers will hand select usually the students, and they will be careful to get a good cross section of the school. And oftentimes those troublemakers or those students who have had problems in the past are the ones that turn out to be our best Youth Crime Watch students. And they serve as basic role models for other students who also have problems, to say, hey, if Johnny, who's had this problem before, is in Youth Crime Watch, then it mustn't be so bad.
How important is the role of the parents in this program?
it's very important. I think that kids, basically a parent or just a significant person in the life of a child, that could basically gear them or guide them towards a positive path. They need that support. Basically, there's a lot of kids nowadays that want to turn around, that want to make that change. However, they don't have that support, that adult, constant mediation, that parent concerned about what the kid's doing, who the kid's hanging around with, and what is he involved in the school.
You find that more parent involvement, it's easier to get the student on board this program?
Yes.
Definitely.
To get the students on board and also to get the administrative support. We go to the PTA meetings and we'll meet with the parents and enlist their support, and then they may turn up being the advisor. We have an elementary school here where one of the PTA representatives is the actual Youth Crime Watch advisor at the school. And we'll also turn to them when we may have trouble getting into a school, and they will speak to the principal or other administrator on our behalf.
What have been some of the success stories with this program that have students who've been in trouble and then have gone on to achieve success? Do any stick out in your mind in particular that you could share with us?
I can share one recent story. Basically, the chairman of our conference recently was Omar Kelly, and he's from Carroll City, and he was the chairman of the conference. Youth, he's 18 years old. He's a senior in high school, and he got involved in Youth Crime Watch programs because of an incident that happened in his school to him. He was actually mugged by a student friend of his, and basically he didn't know what to do. I mean, he would encounter this guy every day in school, and he's like, you know, he felt bad, and he didn't know if I tell on this guy, if I snitch on this guy, I'm going to get him and the rest of his friends behind me. So basically, he felt the need to get involved in programs that can stop these guys from preventing crime,
people.
right? And he's pursuing a career now in TV and stuff like that. But he's very, very involved in Crime Watch programs and is a very good example to the community of what these programs can do in the schools.
It's really a positive program where you get out what you put into it.
Yeah. Definitely.
You know, it gives you a lot of pride in not only your community, but in your school and in yourself.
And in yourself.
Where would you like to see the program go from here? What are some of the goals you'd like to see this program achieve? Would you like to see it spread throughout the nation to every state?
Definitely. Definitely. I mean, we get representation, as I said, over 30 states at the conference. It would be wonderful. I mean, if we can have 30 active states, because we have 12 active states, and we're focusing more towards the Hispanic community now, and basically there are some Latin American countries that are getting involved, and we would love to see it expand into Latin America. That would be beautiful. I mean,
that would be amazing. A worldwide program of crime prevention, and I think that's fantastic. Stay with us. When we come back, we're going to have two students who are very much involved in this.
That's my nephew Scruff reading that comic book.
And this is your nephew Scruff using his magic zapper. See that, dog?
Uh-oh.
Watch. And now I'll turn you into a mouse.
Hold it. Change him back. No dog deserves that. Now watch this. I'm going to change this comic book into a special comic book that may help a lot of kids.
Hey, that's me.
Look inside. It's about the adventures you have coming home from school. It gives tips on what to do about bullies, or if you discover needles or drugs somewhere,
Uh-oh.
or if there's trouble on the bus. And it shows what happens to Scruff.
What happens? What happens?
You'll see. For your free copy of this special comic activity book, write McGruff, Chicago, Illinois, 60652. That's McGruff, Chicago, Illinois, 60652. And you'll be helping me take a bite out of crime.
What happens? What happens?
We are back, and joining us are two very special people. We have Rashad Washington, who is very much involved in the Youth Crime Watch program, and Maria Jose Payares. Payares. Very sorry about that. Rashad, what school do you go to?
I go to Cutler Ridge Middle.
And how did you get involved with the Youth Crime Watch program?
Well, it started beginning of advisement. It was a little paper going around saying if you wanted to be in Youth Crime Watch, sign this paper. So I was very interested in it, and I knew the advisor. So she kind of told me about the program.
Why were you interested in this? Did it have anything to do with your parents or anything like that?
No, it's just that I wanted to stop violence.
Did you know people, did you know some kids who were getting into trouble?
Yes. Well, I knew people who skip in school, like to start fights. That's pretty much.
There's some you knew you had to stop.
Well, I tried to stop one, but...
That a little too much for you to handle?
Yes.
You figured it would be better to join an organization with a group of people who are trying to stop it, huh? Yeah. Did you find that it's easier to get a message of nonviolence and education across when there's more than one people trying to say that message than just you alone?
Yeah, that really helps me out, and it's better for the students to get the message across. It's like easier.
You find it's the same way as like when you have peer pressure, when you have friends asking you, let's cut class, or let's do this. You find it's the same like that. Yet instead of a bunch of people asking you to cut class, you got a bunch of people saying, come on, let's go to class and stop fighting. You find it works along those lines?
Yes.
Maria, where do you attend class?
I go to Rabinto Rio Middle, 8th grade, president of my Crime Watch club at
President?
school.
Resident. So you set quite an example for everyone there.
Yeah, I try.
How did you get involved?
Well, at elementary, I was involved. So, and I liked it very much. I continued. 6th grade, I didn't know there was a crime watch at my school in 6th grade, so I started 7th, and now 8th. So, it's very good.
Was your inspiration sort of like Rashad's? Did you see other kids getting in trouble, or was it in some way blocking your education?
I like to help people, and I realized that it was a good way to help people, you know, stop the violence. And I mean, I like that stuff, so I just
got involved.
Yeah.
Now, we were talking about a youth crime watch conference. I understand that both of you attended that. And how were you involved in that, Rashad? I heard you did a speech.
Yeah, we participated in a speech contest, regional, then countywide, and I came in first place in the regional, and I tied for 3rd place in the countywide.
And what was the speech about?
Violence.
How to get youth to stop violence. And what are
You
some
had a
ways?
speech as well?
Yeah, we both participated in the speech contest, and we both came up with our own speech. And I think it was 1 minute? No.
2 minutes?
2 minutes. 2 minutes long. And I got 2nd place countywide.
All right.
And so we attended the conference as part of what we won, and we went to a student training where we talked about how you can start Crime Watch at your school and what are some of the things you do.
In your
really
speeches
nice.
to stop violence, what are some of the best ways you think you can stop violence on the streets and in your schools? How do you get people to stop?
I think it has to start in the schools and end up in the community. So the community and the schools can interact in projects like graffiti paint outs, removing trash from parks.
Do you find that because of your success with these speeches that some of the students look up to you and are more likely to listen to you now?
Yes, well, we were in the conference, and you had different parts to say. You were picked, and I guess the students really
Listen to you.
listened, and they understood what you were saying.
Maria, what are some of the ways you think are best to stop violence?
Well, everyone has to compromise. They have to come to an agreement. There's other things to be doing other than to fight. Like they can be watching at home, even TV, or they can be doing sports, dancing, talking on the phone, in anything other than to fight. And if you are involved in an argument, you have to know how to compromise. There's always a solution to every problem.
Of course. Best way is to talk it out.
Yeah.
How involved are your families in the program?
We have a Citizens Crime Watch, and we try to attend at every meeting. My parents support me a lot in Crime Watch, and they try to get my brother in Crime Watch.
Do you have brothers and sisters?
I have one brother.
You learn a lot about compromise that way?
Well, sort of.
How about you, Rashad? How's your family involved?
Well, just like Maria said here, they supported me, and well, in our neighborhood, we don't have a citizen crime watch, but we do watch out for our neighbors.
Make sure everybody's okay.
Yeah, when they're on vacation, spring break, holidays.
So, what does your father do?
He's a policeman for Metro-Dade.
So, I'm sure you have to walk the straight and narrow with him, huh? That's an inspiration to join Youth Crime Watch. Maria, you said how you were involved in elementary school. Okay. Elisa, Does that have a lot to do with the McGruff character? We had a public service announcement from our friend McGruff. How powerful of a tool is a communication tool is that?
McGruff is wonderful, especially for the elementary school students. Whenever we attend different kids shows or the conference and different things like that, we're always certain to have McGruff there because the students, I mean, it's amazing. We had him in the parade with us, the Junior Orange Bowl parade, and everyone knows McGruff. Everyone might not know about Youth Crime Watch, but when they associate McGruff, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So
I'm sure
powerful.
even adults
Yes,
as well,
yes.
besides kids.
Yes.
I think adults would get a little more excited. I know I do. What are some, Rashad, what kind of message do you have for a child, a kid like yourself who's watching right now, who's going to watch this show and maybe getting into trouble? What do you want to say to someone like that?
Well, crime is not the solution. It's a resolution to every problem. And you know, if you want to get in trouble, and maybe Youth Crime Watch has when I was in Youth Crime Watch, this is my first year and it's new to me, so you know, I'm just beginning to know about Youth Crime Watch, and the conference has helped me to learn about Youth Crime Watch. So
you think you're a better person because of it?
Yes.
Oh, definitely. And Maria, how would you like to take this further? Would you like to take Youth Crime Watch up to the high school level? You think it would work there as well?
Definitely. They have it at high school levels. I think most of the high schools have it. And I'm going to join. So, and I think everyone should. It's not like, oh my God, you're in Crime Watch, you're a nerd or something like that. It's nothing like that. It's just, you know,
it's a positive
it's normal.
program. Yeah.
It's not just the smart people. I mean, you have people that end up in SCSI all the time, and they really
detention for those who
detention.
don't know what CSI
Well,
is.
And it helps them.
Some people think that Youth Crime Watch is like snitchers. So if they, it's trying to help
It's
them
not that.
solve their problem.
Exactly.
They think that Youth Crime Watch just go and tells snitches on other people.
It's a program that gets everyone involved. It's a program that gets the community involved, and it teaches not only students but parents and everyone that the best way to live is for everyone to get along and succeed. I'm Steve Smith. I'd like to thank our guests for joining us and our students. We'll see you next time, and please always remember to aim high.